I had been following this political influencer for a couple months prior to me DMing him, basically just offering my support and telling him that I was proud of what he was doing and that I was learning a lot from him. A little bit after that, I shared with him that I was a survivor of SA, and if he ever needed a victim's perspective during one of his TikTok live debates, I would be willing to share my story. He was really nice about it, was supportive, thanked me for sharing with him, and also for my willingness to speak on it if he ever needed somebody to. After talking just like a couple more times in Instagram DMs, I was like, hey, like you should add me on Snapchat if you want to. And he did. So that was in May, like right before my birthday. Pretty quickly into us Snapchatting, he started saving snaps where I just like looked pretty, I guess. And if you know, you know, like that's a compliment. It wasn't anything inappropriate. It was just very flattering because I looked good, and he was kind of telling me that by wanting to keep those pictures of me in our chat. Shortly then after that, it became more of like an inappropriate infatuation with me. And he kind of hinted at that by saying something along the lines of, I had some like interesting or sexy pictures of me on my Instagram. And I was like, oh, okay. Granted, this was highly unexpected because I was like, you don't act this way at all on TikTok. I honestly didn't expect to like start talking because of my original DM, but obviously I was excited to because I had a lot of respect for him. I thought he was like this champion for women, supported our rights, berated people who disrespected women, and just all that stuff that, you know, makes a woman feel safe, right? Not long after we started snapping, I made some joke about probably having a bunch of competition, and he then told me that I had no competition and said that he was content, implying that he was content with just me. At another point, he told me that my opinion was the only one that mattered. So of course I like ate that stuff right up. Like I was so excited and just like completely shocked, and obviously like way too trusting. So time's passing, he's still saving a bunch of my snaps. I start saving snaps that he's sending as replies because one, they made me feel good, and two, now I'm glad I have them as receipts because he's calling me insane online. When September came around, I told him that the anniversary of my essay was coming up, and so he was well aware of this. And then on the night of September 15th, before he went live to debate on TikTok, he messaged me just wanting to check in, seeing how I was doing. And to me, that spoke volumes. I was like, that's really sweet of you. Thank you for checking in. And then after he was done debating, he tried to FaceTime me, but unfortunately, I had already fallen asleep. Anyway, he attempted to call me. I didn't answer. He messaged me and told me to answer. And since I was sleeping, I didn't see it till the next morning. But when I saw that I had a missed call, again, I was like, how sweet is this that he really took the time out to want to check in with me on the night he knew was going to be very difficult for me to sleep. I think that kind of says a lot about how he felt about me. I don't know. Of course, I was holding on to this for a while because I really just thought he went above and beyond. And I really just thought he was like this amazing person who saw me as more than my body. But not too long after that, it all became even more intensely inappropriate, and just like the things that he was requesting from me that kind of took me by surprise. But yeah, I kind of just like put up with it because I was like, well, he respects me, right? He respects me for more than the physical attraction. From like late October onward, he started to pull back just a little bit, and I let it go for a while without saying anything. But then late November, I was like, look, you like rarely snap me anymore. If you don't want to talk, like just communicate that with me. And he said that that wasn't the case. And then I had told him that if he was talking to any other women the way he was talking to me, then he needed to unsave my snaps because like I'm not that bitch. And he said that he wasn't talking to other women like that. he wasn't hooking up with anybody because he, quote unquote, never does that. And I believed him. I literally believed everything he said all the time. All the time. And that was very naive of me, I admit. From that conversation, I thought there was this understanding that if he was going to be fucking around or flirting with anybody else, asking for pics from them, he needed to delete mine. Unfortunately, it took me a couple more months to figure out that he wasn't respecting that request whatsoever. Then February comes around and he shows up on TikTok live with hickeys on his neck. So I was like, obviously there's someone else and you're being dishonest with me. Of course I had to address this because I was hurt and I had every right to be. Not long after that, he discloses that he's seeing her. And I was like, oh, see, I thought you didn't want commitment, but that's my bad. The next weekend, he posts a thirst trap on TikTok with her. And I was like, all right, got it. In that comment section, I saw another woman say something regarding the fact that they had been talking a month prior. And I was like, wait a second, I need to know if this is legit. So I DM'd her. It took all of like 1 minute for her to realize that we literally got played by the same guy. And I can't even tell you the emotions that went through my body that entire night. A couple days later, boom, I get a DM from another woman saying that she and her friend went through something very similar as well. And I was like, holy shit, I'm learning so much. Fast forward 1 more week, and here I am sitting here with knowledge of at least 6 other women who were played by the same guy in the same time period. I'm just disgusted, bro. I have genuinely never been more wrong about somebody in my entire life. For 9 months, I thought that he was this amazing person. I respected him. I thought he respected me. I thought that the person he showed online was the person he truly was, and I was proven so horribly wrong. So when I started speaking about this publicly, his only response has been to say that I'm insane because he wants to take away my credibility before more people find out about this. All I have to say to that is there are some very strong women that I am aligned with and share experiences with, and we're not going to stand for some dude getting away with icky behavior. You can't sit there and pretend that you care about women and respecting them, and then you berate people for disrespecting women, and then you're doing the same thing behind the scenes. The fact that you think that you don't have to be held accountable is actually really sickening, and it's disheartening, to be honest. I'm so glad that I found this out before I ever met up with him, because that would have just made everything a million times worse. But that's the story. Sorry this video got really long, but yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions or show some receipts I've got.